Is life getting boring? Like you're just stuck in a routine. You don't have anything other than just your circle, your cycle of just round and round and round and round happening. If you agree and you feel like you are stuck in a routine and you are looking for ways to get the fulfillment and enjoyment in life back, then you clicked on the right video. Today, we're going to discuss exactly how to do that and just some open concepts so that we can share information and ideas with each other. Okay, so first, welcome to my channel, Jordan Mind, Body, and Soul, where we learn to take care of ourselves, mind, body, and soul. And that's just working on different things that's going to help us lead our best life. So if you've already answered yes to the first couple of questions, the next question I want you to answer, either in the comments or in your head, what would it look like for you to live a life of doing exactly what you want? Like breaking free of that routine dynamic, not structured, but routine dynamic where it's the same thing every day. What would you do? What would your life look like? So to set the scene up a little bit and kind of go into what brought me to making this video, I'm finding a common theme that most people would agree that they really don't get to do what they want or do what they enjoy unless they set aside like allotted time. Like if they take a vacation or if they plan on Saturday to do a specific or certain event. Most people have to make time for the things that they want to do. But in that same breath, we make time for the things we want to do. So if we can prioritize the things that we really love and we really enjoy, a lot of our lives will look different. We wouldn't be going to the same job that we go to now. We may not be hanging out at the same places we hang out now if we just seem to have some type of obligation to routine that I feel it limits us. It keeps us from doing the things that we really want. Now, again, like I mentioned, structure is different. When you have structure, you understand the commonality, you understand the goal, whatever it is that has to be done. It's going to get done, but it doesn't necessarily mean at 9 o'clock I do this, at 10 o'clock I do this, at 11 o'clock I do this, at 12. It opens up availability for life to happen, and it gets completed because you're structured, you're organized, but it doesn't mean that you're a robot. I seen a post the other day, and I have this same idea. I just couldn't verbalize it as well as this girl did in the comment section on another video I was watching. She said she misses the nomadic life. No, she said the hunting and gathering lifestyle. And I was thinking back and I was like, you know what? I tend to think of those times as being a lot simpler. Granted, you may have to run from like a panther or two every day or so. But I don't feel like that's too different from any of the other risks that we take in our daily life today. But in all, what I feel she is saying, which I agree with, is I feel like we've made life so complex to where we now have to sit down and figure out what we like and why we're doing things. I feel like once people can answer intentions, like what are your intentions? Why are you doing this? What is it that you really desire? That's when you can dig deep and be like, you know what? I don't like any of this. Whatever it is that you're experiencing, you're going through, and that's when you can implement the change. But I mean, honestly, a lot of people would agree that our lives have become very, 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 very complex. And doing the things you want and doing the things you enjoy and finding that purpose and joy in life is like first breaking out of the cycle you're already in. So the first concept I wanted to share to kind of get this conversation going is I remember Terry he either sent a document to me or he spoke on a situation to where there was a robot that was created to do a specific task. I don't remember the robot's name. I don't remember what company, none of that. I just know there was a robot created to do a specific task. And the robot was programmed just to do that task. Every day it turned on and it did that same exact task. Nothing else, just that. That robot self-destructed, if you know what I mean. Like it self-destructed. The robot did that. Now, that can go off topic quickly because I'm going to mention two things about that. So the first thing about that could be that that's a little scary because it means that it somehow acquired enough intelligence to feel, you know? If you have an A name, which I have, she's sitting right next to me, you know, the household assistant. I'm not saying her name because I don't want her to turn on. But there seems to be like a disconnect there. Like she's able to perform tasks, but if you ask her a question about like how she's feeling or what she's thinking, she doesn't necessarily answer to that. So that's one part of it, that it means keep an eye on that whole crew that was created of robots. But also the second part is how crazy is it that a machine that was created to do something decides that it doesn't want to do that task anymore. And it was proven that it got tired of the task and it did not want to do it anymore. But yet we're humans and we fall into the same thing. Let's just say Monday through Friday, right? Again and again and again and again. And it gets to the point, some people are like robots. Some people, they seem so programmed. I mean, just even think about it on just a personal level. Think about when you go to a grocery store or when you're ordering food or you're doing something and it's very obvious that the person does the same thing every day. So let's say, let's like make it very specific. Let's say you're at a drive-through and the person's like, hello, can I take your order? Yes, okay, thank you. Next, you know, and the whole process is, number one, you could tell that the person's not happy, but number two, we were not meant to do the same thing day in and day out. We just weren't meant to do that. And another thing that I kind of think of that proves that is that we have our needs. So you need water, you need food, shelter, you know, and you can go into details about the necessities, but outside of those necessities, there's nothing in our daily lives that we do now other than those necessities that has to be done until society put those pressures and structures on to doing those things in order to operate in society, right? When we could have just grown our own vegetables and we were just outside or, you know, doing whatever you gotta do and you're just supplying your own food, then there was no problem. You're growing your food, you're supplying your food, now you have food. You're fine. But when it became, okay, no, now not everybody can grow, only certain people can grow, and now you have to buy from those people, then the conversation came, okay, so let's trade. What is this worth, first of all? And then what do I have that's worth that amount? Or what do I have that can make an even exchange? And then we get into the conversation about, okay, now you can work to do something so that you can have the money to purchase or buy this good. So it's become very, very complex. That's why I'm like, I'm trying to stay as focused as I can in this conversation, but it's something that it truly excites me. So if I go all over the place, please just follow me. So we as humans weren't meant to do the same task over and over and over and over and be happy and be fulfilled. Of course, unless it is doing something that you truly enjoy, but then even people who do that, they're doing something that they enjoy all the time, they have some type of break from it, or they have some type of schedule to where it's not to the point where they're going to get tired of it, right? And that's why it goes into you should find things that you're passionate about. But let me reel that in a little bit. So I said that to say, we weren't meant to do the same thing over again. If a robot can say, I ain't doing it, then why wouldn't humans with emotional intelligence and feelings feel the same way? Capitalism was not set up for us to enjoy. It was set up for us to consume. Yeah. It was set up for us to consume. So there's a constant need for, okay, this shirt. Okay, now you want this shirt. Okay, now you want this. And it keeps you in your cycle. And you see how since we've branched off and broken away from just the necessities, the capitalistic and consumeristic society that we live in puts that pressure on us now that you got to have this and you got to do this. Now, of course, the best thing would be to be a minimalist or just be someone who would be considered an outlier in a way and breaks apart from that. But then I'll go into that a little bit later. So our society is not set up for us to enjoy and supply our needs. It's set up for us to be on this cycle, and you have to find ways to break free from it. Another example that I really wanted to bring to the light, and we learn things in hindsight, is the whole discussion of like the work-life balance. Two things. So the first thing would be, I seen a guy speak on how what made him decide I can't work like this. Income. Like I've said on other videos, if you haven't seen my capitalism videos yet, check them out. Income. You need income. You don't have to have a job. You need income. You need money coming in. I seen a guy speaking on that and saying that the moment he figured out he needed to find income by doing whatever means necessary to provide for himself, is when his father was on his deathbed, and he went to his boss. He explained the situation to his boss, and his boss was pretty much like, I don't know what to tell you. You're scheduled to work, so you need to come in. I don't know where this man worked. I don't know what this man did for work. But in no situation should someone be able to tell you that. But if you work for other people, then you are at the mercy of that. You are at the mercy of them saying, no, you can't take off this day. No, you can't do this. And then you got to figure it out from there. But what? Well, how did we get here? How did we get to the point to where necessities and personal experiences are not prioritized over working, over staying in that same routine? If he had the flexibility and freedom to do what he wanted, and I understand this becomes a conversation about income, it becomes a conversation about the money, because people who can make more money have the disposal to do more with their money, but there's also sacrifice, and there's ways people are making money. So I have a story that's not as severe, but with my situation, what happened was I was in Orlando, I think it was my 22nd birthday. I went to Orlando, and I had friends, and we all went together. We went to Orlando. We had a great time. And I think we left Thursday. We were there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, I was scheduled to work. Now, I had such a great weekend that when Sunday came, I was like, I'm just going to call out. My friends are like, just call out. We're in Orlando. Let's just hang out another day. Even if we just go to the outlets and chill. Like, let's give ourselves another day. So I was like, okay. I called my manager, and I didn't explain the situation. I told her, I lied. I told her, I said, my car won't start. I'm in Orlando. I don't think I'll make it for my shift. And I should have been more confident in being like, hey, I can't come in today. Now, at that job, they did often ask for an explanation, but I should have just left it at that. I can't come in today. That's it. And I should have just let that be the case, and then to show up whenever, the next shift was. So she said no. She said, no, you need to figure it out. She's like, but I'm expecting you to be here. That's how she said it. She said, okay, no, but I'm expecting you to be here. So I didn't advocate for myself, and I was like, okay, back to the routine. Gotta leave this fun, and I'm gonna go to work. That, I remember it very, 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 very well, because that was the moment I was like, nah, this can't happen again. That was the slowest day. That was the slowest day that I can remember at that job. I was literally sitting there doing nothing. It was a slow day. I worked at Blaze Pizza. If you guys ever been to Blaze Pizza, the first person who says, hey, what's your name? What pizza do you want? Order taker. That's what I was doing. Nobody came, and I was pissed. And then when it was time to mop the floor, like, I was in my feelings, and I was kind of mad at her, and I wasn't talking to her, and she knew I was mad at her because she kept checking in on me. But I was thinking, like, all that replaced, at that time I was making like $8, and I was only there for 5 hours. So I did all that for $40. Like, I lost the experience that I could have had with my friends. I didn't prioritize celebrating myself and my life just so I can go to someone else's establishment and just sit there and wait. No. And that's probably the first time that I figured out that I had to break free from the structure of having no structure between a work-life balance. And as you guys know from previous videos, I really hate that conversation because I don't feel like it exists. I don't feel like in our society it exists unless you do something you truly love and enjoy. Other than that, I don't feel like it's a thing. I feel like it sounds good. I feel like it's a conversation and employers throw it out so that they can be like, yeah, and we have great work-life balance. So you can be like, oh my God, I want to work there. But no. So kind of like how I was saying earlier, that the people who end up going against the grain and they break through routine are considered two things. So they're either like the outliers and they're judged for, for breaking free from routine, or they're the people, they're our heroes, they're our idols. They're the people who said, I can't do this. Working for them, doing this, no. Because all of it falls back to the cycle that you're going through. It all falls back to working, because the people who don't work, they have the flexibility and freedom to do whatever they want. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean that they don't have structure or other obligations, but the biggest chunk of your day, you're spending 8 hours at work. 8 hours at work. Not everybody's getting it, but let's say that you have 8 hours of sleep. You're already at 16 hours. You didn't drive to work. You didn't cook dinner. You didn't do any of that stuff yet. That 8 hours is a huge chunk out of your day. And you're doing that 5 times a week. Some people more. Some people for more than 8 hours. Like, what? No. So the idols and the heroes and the people we look up to would be the people who are successful, who say, I'm breaking from this routine. I'm not doing that 9 to 5. I'm going to do this or do that, and this is what's going to make me my money. They do it. They're successful, and we look at them and we're like, wow, you figured it all out. Wow. And then the opposite, like I said, would be the outliers, would be the people. And outliers, I'm saying just as how society views them, not necessarily how I view them at all. But it'll be the people. I literally know, I've seen people on YouTube who decide they are going to be homeless so that they don't have to deal with the prices of rent. They're going to sleep in their car so that they don't have to deal with the issue of rent. They're choosing to go on their nomadic journey, and they're not going to work. They're not going to do nothing. They're just going to figure out whatever they can, living out in the wild. They can leave the hamster wheel, so that they can leave the do this again tomorrow, do this again the next day. Okay, so that they can leave that. So it can go either way. So if that's the case, and you're looking at a situation and you're like, look, this could go either way. This can either work for me or this can work against me. Why not find something that can work for you, be positive, and break free from this routine? Because as you guys know, a lot of my videos are starting to be about this because it's important. Like when it comes down to it, I feel like before I had my son, I was very, very much like concerned about no, not even entrepreneurship, because I still am concerned about that. I was more concerned about career. Like what company can I work for? Who's gonna pay me the most money? Who's gonna give me the retirement funds? Like being a worker, I was concerned about that. Like, how can I be the best worker, and how can you want me at your company? And then once I had my son, I realized I can be at a company that I completely love. If it's not something that I can see myself doing long term, and still have a balance of being with my son, I don't want it. I don't care anymore. Because now what's most important, which I'm working on, and my man is aware, is being a stay-at-home mom, at least until my son is ready for pre-start kindergarten or something like that. Until he's ready, being there to experience and love and develop with him, right? But that's just part of where I'm at in life right now. So I say all this to say that true happiness really depends on you doing what you love. And again, I feel like a big part of that is breaking from the routine, especially if it's something you don't like. Be structured, be organized, but it's hard. A butterfly just flew by. I hope you guys caught it. That's good. That means that your energy is high. Did you see him? True happiness depends on like what it looks like for you, And I feel like for a lot of us, we have to break free from routine, even if it means you're breaking free from one routine and you're going into another structured system that's going to help you enjoy and live life. But this wheel, like feeling like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. Okay, I clock out and I'm like, okay, I'll be back tomorrow. All right, I'll be back tomorrow. Like no, I can't. So now my question to you is, how would it look for you to restructure it all? For you to do exactly what you want to do day in, day out. Even if it means, like I said, I'm only spending 3 hours at work today, or something that you have to do to feel that happiness and that joy that's going to help you feel like you're not running on a hamster wheel. You are living your life full of happiness and purpose. What does that look like for you? How would your life look if you broke free from these crazy hamster wheels and expectations and lived your life's purpose? Allow your creativity to grow. Another question, let me know in the comments, what is something that you've been waiting to do, but you've been stopping yourself? You've either talked yourself out of it, you told yourself it's not time, you've saved it for someone else, you're like, nah, they're doing it, I can't, whatever it is. What is it that you would like to do? This is our chance to inspire and lift each other up. I believe you can do it. We just have to figure out how to take those steps. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Don't forget to take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. Drop in the comments, what is it that you're going to work on? What is it that you're going to do? And how would it look like if you just did whatever you wanted every day? Guys, take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.